we're here, buddy.
Are we? Oh,
We're here, man.
For this one.
I don't think you do. No.
Well, I'm just going to have a guess, do we?
No. We're going to figure that out, though. We're going to start having some guests on here. Okay. Hi, everybody.
I'm Joey.
Welcome to the Maryland Fishing Line, episode 24. Today is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. This is the podcast where we talk about fishing throughout the great state of Maryland and this amazing
Like it?
libation that
Yeah.
you have put in front of me.
Like I
which
said,
is so good.
I'm sure there's some real hardcore bourbon drinkers out there, but
Oh, man.
this stuff is...
Good stuff.
They caught me with their typical, let's put it on the end of the shelf, and it's like, ooh, yeah. I stared at that for a while.
Do you want to show people what it is before? We haven't even started this podcast. We're going to start talking about bourbon.
I don't know. You gotta make sure I get it up there.
That's what she said. You just pointed at the camera. Yeah, there it is.
That's also
Heritage brown sugar bourbon, and it is delicious.
Heritage Distilling. So I've already went through one podcast already with a glass of this.
That bottle was new just earlier, wasn't it?
I drank a little bit out of it the other night. Tuesdays are my long days, so it helps. It's delicious. I highly recommend it. Apparently, it's gotten some award the last couple of years.
It's really good. Really good.
It just has its own flavor. It's just smooth.
Mm-hmm. It's very smooth. It's not. It's got a little sweetness to it, but
this camera's
well, hold on a second. You can't.
No.
You can't be moving the camera around.
I just tweaked it a little bit.
Okay, well, you're off to the side now, but that's the way it's going to be. We haven't even started yet. The Maryland Fishing Line is a production of the Angler Magazine Chesapeake Edition, and tonight, Joey, we have a jam-packed show, just like we had last week.
Oh, yeah. I actually, like normal, have not gone all the way through the show notes.
Nope, you shouldn't. We're, of course, going to do the regular fishing report.
Yep.
Also, in a follow-up to the Maryland Young of the Year study that was released last week, we have Virginia's Juvenile Striped Bass Survey results that just came out from VIMS. We are going to unwind all those crazy fishing spot names in the Chesapeake Bay, which you hear people talk about all these crazy places. We are going to unwind a little bit of that. And
someone going to come head on us after this.
I don't care. That's fine, too.
That's cool. Any publicity is good publicity. Local podcasters get whacked.
We're also going to go through our own weekly fishing adventures. And, of course, we've got this or that's at the end of the show this week. Before we get started, though, anything going on in the live stream yet? No? Super quiet?
I just logged. Well, I've been on it, but I was admiring my camera angle. How about me?
We have got we're doing something different. Instead of showing the camera view from over there, we're actually showing the headshots. We think that it's a little different, so people let us know if you like that.
See my big belly
better or not. And before we get into this week's report, though, Joey, I want to thank our sponsors, Waterfront Marine in Edgewater, Maryland, dealing in Robalo fishing boats, Chaparral pleasure boats, and Bennington pontoon boats. Waterfront Marine has their... I'm sitting there getting ready to read all the stuff about how they had their open house in October. But October's come and gone. But I'm sure that if you wanted to find out about them, you can just call them or find them on their website at waterfrontmarine.com, and they will tell you all about Robalo, Chaparral, and Bennington.
Yeah.
JMJ Firearms in Mechanicsville, Maryland.
Are we going to set up that day to go up there on a Monday soon?
Yeah, let's do it.
We should do that.
Let's do it. I'll get in touch with Joseph this week, yeah.
I'll bring my sod off.
Modern Air HVAC in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Robin Caballaro at Remax One, a fantastic real estate agent. Stoney's Kingfishers in Solomons, Maryland. Scott's Cove Marina in Deal Island, Maryland. Huntingtown Automotive in Huntingtown, Maryland. Eat Chesapeake in Dunkirk, Rosehaven, and Bowie, otherwise known as Chesapeake Grill. You will find links to all of these fine establishments in the show notes or show descriptions. Make sure to let them know you heard about them here. All right. Yes, your hands up.
Can I just make a pretty obvious non-sponsored, sponsored remark?
Sure.
I do not, as a store, I do not sponsor the Chesapeake Angler. Not on purpose. I'm not the boss. But I've had a lot of great new friendships in relations and sales, thanks to Brian.
You've had relations?
I've always had. There was that one time.
Wow, Joey.
So I do have to give a shout out from the Patuxent Adventure Center to the Chesapeake Angler. I've already got to meet some cool people, and I've only been on for I don't know how many episodes.
Oh, a lot. 18. And if you
Is it now? It feels like
it's 4 months. It's been 4 months we've been doing this. Do you believe that? 4
Really,
months.
4 months?
4 months. Not like the other one. We're closing in on 2 years on gravel.
Yeah,
We're
maybe I'm
closing on 2
mixing.
years.
I don't know. I feel like I just started this one not a few weeks ago, but
No, it was like episode 6 or 7.
Oh.
If you do the math, that's like 18 weeks.
I
and
can't
that's
do the
16
math.
weeks. That's like 4 months. I think it was back
Wow.
at the beginning of the summer. Yes. Yeah, you've been you're
Oh,
a
wow.
mainstay now, buddy.
yeah. Basically, I pay for advertising. It's not great for you. But I will in the springtime.
You're doing all the hard work, though. So let's take a. Ugh, you got me all verklempt over here. Let's take a look.
I got you all blushing and you're all teary-eyed.
Yeah, my teeth are like, yeah, okay. So this week, let's take a look at what's going on around the state. It's all about the bass, the striped bass. No trouble. Did you see what I did there?
No.
I got a little pop culture reference into a very old pop song.
I don't know if you're talking to a bunch of younger women or a bunch of burly men over here. I did not get that reference until you pointed it out.
That's okay.
And if we have some nice younger, that was a pretty sexist, not on purpose.
I think we have.
I don't think Sean Rustic Designs is listening.
I don't, probably
to that
not
song.
either. Probably not either. But it was funny. It was funny.
Just
and I
by
can't-
happenstance, I don't think he's just put it on.
Why don't you tell us then?
Let's
what's
talk
going
about
on?
striped bass.
Yeah,
Striped bass
please, thank you.
topwater bite is on. And I
On
will
like
talk-
Donkey Kong.
Man, my hands are so banged up from the other day of that. Looking towards, actually, I should post some of these pictures. Look for working birds. If you see them, don't get on the fish and the mayhem. Search the edges and try to get bait deeper where the large fish are picking up scraps.
So
Yeah.
I heard from some friends that were normally just hit the big schools.
Yeah.
And they were having a little bit of an issue trying that wasn't the normal bite.
What do you mean?
And you know they were throwing baits into the working birds and the breaking fish, but they weren't hooking up. And I think a lot of that is when you get those smaller fish up on the surface underneath the
whacking
birds.
little, they're barely hack.
Yeah, they're smaller fish up on the surface, and the bigger fish are going to be on the edges, and they're going to be down underneath.
Oh yeah,
So
I'll actually get to this on my personal experience from yesterday
There you go.
later. Light tackle jigging and trolling are both working. If you're jigging, try 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce metal jigs on channel edges. Trollers are using umbrella rigs, tandem rigs, bucktails, spoons, diving crankbaits, and hoses.
nice.
I'll do bluefish real quick just to
Sure.
knock it out. Still finding some bluefish in the lower portion of Maryland on the Chesapeake alongside the stripers.
And puppy drum can still be found hanging around with the lingering perch and spot. I caught a really nice one this last week,
You
which I'm
did.
going to talk about in
And
our
I'm
segment.
still seeing them on social media. I don't maybe I'm not targeting them
You know,
anymore.
that's I think a part of it too. We're not fishing them. I'm not fishing for puppy drum right now. I'm full on rockfish
I'm full-
mania.
It sucks because I'm Mr. Redfish addict, but the striper right now are hard to beat.
Topwater,
Yeah. Speckled trout in the Tangier Sound area. Fishing for speckled trout remains consistent. Grassy shallows, prominent points, stump field, and creek mouths are great places to fish. Paddle tails on a are a popular bait, while drifting soft crab baits on a falling tide in the creeks is also a great option.
So a lot of this stuff's the same stuff you heard from last week. Spot.
Yeah.
Look for those hard bottoms in the lower Patuxent, the
Yeah.
Potomac, over in the Tangier Sound. All of those places are going to hold concentrations of spot right now. They don't seem to show any shine of running away. It's the teeth. Leave me alone. I can't say shine. I said sign.
Yeah. The white perch. White perch are moving to the deeper water in earnest. Bloodworms and 25 feet of water on hard bottom will still catch you them perch.
Fall trout stocking program is well underway, and they're really going at it. So you're seeing a lot of fish being put in the water. So check the DNR website to see where you might be able to get in on some of that trout action. Now, understand, too, that they're not just putting the put and take fish. They're not just putting mature fish in. They're actually adding a lot of fingerlings this year, trying to reestablish some populations. So that's pretty exciting.
Populations in Calvert Cliffs.
No.
Or you're talking about like Big Hunting Creek or something.
Yeah, places where they're going to hang out.
The largemouth, for our freshwater listeners, largemouth bass are feeding aggressively as grass beds, lily pads, spat rock is declining. What remains is a magnet for largemouth bass as bait attempts to find cover in ever-decreasing habitat. Spinner baits are an excellent choice when working the mouths of feeder creeks under these conditions.
I have not been largemouth fishing in a while.
I know they were yelling at you the other day.
I just have not the boat's down at the pier. It's so easy to hop on it, go out and bang out some rockfish, and it's tough to break away from. Folks are still finding some snakehead falling to subsurface baits throughout their normal range. I've seen some pictures of some nice fish coming out of Blackwater, but for every good day you hear about, you're going to hear about a bad one or two. So you got to be careful. You got to pick and choose your days, and don't be afraid to go out in that bad weather. I saw a lot of fish that were caught in that rain on Sunday from people over in Blackwater.
Oh, sorry. I was actually reading our comments. Camden said she got the reference.
Yeah, of course.
Sean says he has a base. Catfish. Cooler water temps are waking up kitties. Find the bait. Find the catfish. Eating machines.
They're eating machines. Yeah, I was trying to
catfish are eating everything.
Just bullet points in there for you.
Fresh cut bait, clam snouts, net crawlers, chicken livers make good bait, and so does that garlic corn.
So I've been thinking about catfish. Catfish are on the brain right now. I've been marking a lot of fish.
I got to take you out for some striper. I feel like you've had 2 days of bad striper fishing.
No,
I don't know if you have.
I've caught fish, but they haven't been good quality fish. But I've been marking a lot of fish that I'm not. I don't know what they are, and I have a feeling they're catfish because they're sitting with.
They're catfishing you.
They're. That's what it's all about, huh? Yeah. And so I'm thinking, and actually today we can talk a little bit about this later. But are you proficient at all with a cast net? Because I'm thinking about trying to get down to some of that bait that I see on the bottom and see exactly what's going on under there. 10 feet of water.
Oh God, no, I don't know. I see people on flats boats doing it in like a foot of water.
Yeah.
I don't know, about 10 feet.
I don't know exactly how well that would work. Recreational crabbing is slowing down as water temperatures become chillier and crabs migrate to the deeper waters. The lower Maryland waters, though, are still finding good catches in 10 to 12 feet of water. So Upper Bay, you're going out and you're going to catch dozens maybe. Middle of the bay, you're going to have a little less numbers, and Lower Maryland, the portion of the bay, you're still seeing some good catches in 10 to 12 feet of water. I'm still catching crabs. The numbers aren't as high, but I'm still catching crabs.
When all those commercial boys and girls are switched over to oysters too.
Yeah, they're all going to oysters. So
I was out yesterday. I was like, I know a couple watermen. One of them is one of the younger ones that I could probably go up to, and I was like, oh, if I see so and so I might go up and say, here, can I buy some oysters from you right off the boat?
Ooh.
I never got up to him. I might message him this week because I've gone over to his dock when he gets in. Because I've traded him photos I've taken of him. He just fills up a bucket of oysters.
No, that's nice.
I love it.
There's nothing better than good fresh oysters, man. And it's that time of year. Now, what do you do with them? How do you prepare your oysters? What do you do?
I guess it's maybe because I'm not a full-on Marylander. I think my dad might correct me. I think it was 93 that we moved here when I was 3 years old. So maybe that's why I won't eat an oyster raw, straight 100% raw. I'll eat it about every other way you want it.
Okay.
But if I'm at home, though, I will chuck it on the grill. I think we might talk about maybe the last podcast, fishing or the bike. I will pop it on the grill till they open up. And I like putting a little hot sauce or sriracha, maybe some butter, something like melted butter on. I don't know. I'll pull it right out and eat it just like that. I don't know.
I'll eat them raw, and I've eaten a lot of them raw.
I have eaten them raw. It's not my go-to.
I don't eat them raw as much anymore, and I like the steamed as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like a good salty, meaty oyster. Yeah. You're making me hungry now.
I know. The one thing I don't like, the big old loogies. Like every so often you get that one that's probably amazing fried, even steamed. Like I will cut it in half as much as you just want to shoot it. I saw, what did I see recently? And I think it was JT Van Zandt. He's been doing some weird stuff on, I think it was Yeats or something. They did the same thing where they put them on a fire, and they did this melted, maybe it was some bacon grease, butter, garlic. I don't know. They filled up the oyster shell with, it wasn't like they put a little, I want to put a little hot sauce or sriracha. They filled this thing up. I was like, God, that just looks like a run to the toilet.
So anything going on in the live stream? Because look at the live podcast. I'm seeing a very, very laggy. I'm seeing repetitive stuff in the video stream, and I'm not seeing any of the chat. So you're going to have to stay on top of the chat.
No, we're a little light on watchers this episode so far.
Okay.
But yeah, Camden said she got the reference, and Shawnee has base.
Got it. Let's look at the news because I teased this about the VIMs So the result of VIM's striped bass seine survey, which samples, as does the Maryland testing, samples their young of the year stripers in the Virginia portion of the bay. They detected about an average number of juveniles in 2020 as opposed to the dismal numbers that we received in Maryland. So I find that interesting that Virginia numbers seem to be on average where Maryland numbers were low. The ongoing long-term survey conducted by researchers at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science suggest another strong year class of young of year striped bass in Virginia tributaries of the represents the group of fish hatched this spring that will grow to fishable sizes in 3 to 4 years. The VIMS juvenile bias, the VIMS survey recorded a mean value of 13.89 fish per seine haul in the Virginia portion of the bay. The 2020 value, which scientists call a recruitment index, is greater than the historic average of 7.77 fish per seine haul and represents the 8th consecutive year of average or above average recruitment in Virginia waters. And here's where I think you get the little bit of a curve. The VIM scientists caution, however, that the 2020 mean may not be directly comparable to the historic average. This is because 19% of the hauls were not completed in 2020 due to tropical storm. How do you say it? Isaias?
We got in trouble on our bike podcast for mispronouncing that one.
We're calling it ISIS. Tropical storm Isaias. I'm just going to say that. Isaias. So, anyway,
that one.
That storm. And precautions taken to protect researchers against COVID-19. So we didn't hear about any of that kind of stuff in the Maryland results.
Yeah.
They didn't apparently.
Isn't it weird how they had 19%?
Yeah,
were not completed because of COVID-19.
Well, no, 19% were not completed
That's what I'm
because
saying.
of the tropical storm.
19 COVID-19.
I see what you're saying.
You want to play the what's that weird music from X-Files?
What's your take on that? The Virginian sees numbers that aren't as dismal as Maryland's numbers.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes there needs to. I feel like there needs to be someone that just travels doing. I think it's got to be a little more consistent. I don't know. I probably don't have a good answer to this, and that's. I'm hoping the next few episodes to get my friend Tony on that. So this is what he does for a living. Because I don't want to say anything wrong. There's a between Maryland and Virginia on a lot of this stuff too.
They want to report or what they.
No, it's just as far as the way they go about it, how they do things, government standard, government policies and such. And I think it trickles all the way down to how this stuff is done.
Yeah. It sounds like they do it in a much different way.
They do
it in a much different manner.
Yeah.
And we need to treat the bay as an ecosystem that's connected because it is.
Yeah, I would say it. Everything. There needs to be a standard for the whole entire bay, not state by state.
So how can Virginia base it? Because here's what's going to happen: is policy decisions.
Yeah.
Are about conservation and hauls are all going to be made based upon these studies.
Yeah.
And you have a study in the same bay in the Maryland portion.
Yeah.
Granted, the geography is different. It's going to be more. It's different. It's more diverse. It's just different. But that's the same ecosystem. It's the same body of water. It's the same habitats. So you're going to have policy decisions that are going to go run counter to each other. Because in Virginia, you've got the 8th consecutive year of average above average.
Yep.
Where Maryland's looking at it, and could it be that one scientific approach to the study is better or different than the other that produces the discrepancies?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Maybe I'll shoot for next week. Maybe we'll move. It depends on Henry, the Jackson guy. And I feel like Tony would explain this really well across the Mid-Atlantic and how this is done with the ASMFC and stuff.
Well, I would like to be educated on it. I really would.
Yeah, and he won't bore us. And I think this is a topic as much as I sometimes don't want to talk about it, but all of us as sportsmen need to pay attention to, because without it, we're not doing this. I mean, it literally trickles all the way down to
everything.
The life of where we live.
Everything.
So I think we should get Tony on. I'll call him tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Maybe next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And have him actually explain us, and then he can talk about fishing up by. He lives in the Narrows.
I think I'd love that.
He'll spin off with his own fishing thing because he's an amazing fisherman.
Yeah, I'd love that.
But I think you would educate us properly on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, kind of sum up what Maryland's doing versus Virginia, what other states are doing. Because I think it's something we need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just blow it off, or else if you like to fish, you can't blow it off.
No, you're right.
So.
You're absolutely right. You got to pay attention to it. These are the measures that we have to use. This is the measure that Virginia has to use. This is the measure that Maryland has to use.
Yep.
So you have to base your policy decisions on something. You have to base it on the scientific data.
Yep.
But when you've got two different, very diverse groups doing much different studies to produce the results that influence policy, I think that's problematic.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I know nothing. I was actually jumped back over to the live stream. Sean said the Deep Creek guys are getting 30-inch pikes at 20 to 30 feet, but I couldn't get anything, and the lake is low. We don't talk about Deep Creek that much. Have you ever fished there?
Sean was just up there this weekend.
Do you ever fish there? Have you ever fished there?
I've never actually fished Deep Creek.
I haven't either.
The most I've gone is I spent a week at Rocky Gap with my dad, and we fished some streams around there, and Rocky Gap's a great place.
Yeah.
But I've never been fished Deep Creek. Sounds like a boys' weekend.
Oh, yeah, we talk about that kind of stuff a lot. So let's do it. I think I would love to get up there and see it. It's just like anything, though. When you just fish something like have at, you really got to find a guide or something that can kind of put you on fish because they move so much. I know that
I don't know anything up there. Yeah.
When I'm fishing my creek, if I get off the creek for just a little bit, I mean, the fish move. Like I was telling you that
they all went down to Virginia.
This was what to get counted. We're here for the census.
Hold on, guys. Do your civic duty and go get counted.
I was able, because I was telling you it was a tougher week in the creek, but I was able to eventually find fish.
So, I don't know. I think I said it last week when we talked about people. I did talk to Tony earlier this week. We just never got caught back up because all this stuff has been going on with fisheries and all the stuff coming out over the last week or two. He's only going to get busier from here on out. I might actually fish with him Monday, so we'll see.
Cool. Did you fish at all this week? Did you get a chance to fish? I know.
Oh yeah, did. I actually only fished twice.
Okay.
I fished out of a boat on Thursday night.
Okay.
Are we allowed to talk about this now?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. I don't know if you're going over the fishing spots.
We're going to jump around a little bit. I'm going to do that after we actually do a
Thursday. It's really cool when your boss likes to fish too, and we have those dead rise skiff things the Marine Museum built us, and Dave's been using one of those in the creek. Dave's been on a huge skunk, and I'm always like, "Oh, Dave, I caught this and this," and he's like, "Well, I was out last 4 times." And he's like, "I'm done for the year." And I was like, "No. Like, the creeks are turning on, top water's on." I was like, "You might catch a couple more fish jigging, but nothing beats top water for me right now." And so Thursday we had some of our high school staff come in like at 4. He's like a little kid. He's like, "You want to go? You want to leave at 4?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like I checked with Jess, and she's like, "I don't care, just go fishing." So me and Dave got out in the creek, and we only stayed local. It was a little, I think it wasn't ideal conditions, but
when night was this?
That was Thursday night, last Thursday. It was nice out.
Oh, it was a beautiful day. It was really warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went out and fished, and I kind of, Dave, I showed him some stuff, and I had a couple good blow-ups, and it wasn't until it got a little bit later. First time all year, I got Dave on a fish where he actually was, his wife gives him crap. He was able to take it home. It was 19, a little over 19, so I was kind of excited. I didn't catch anything tonight, but being able to take someone out and having them catch a fish too, especially like Dave, your boss, catch a fish, and then, but that was good. Otherwise, obviously, the Titan was sitting in my truck since last Monday.
So you were in the skiff with Dave.
I was in the skiff with Dave, and we were just fishing some points and flats. But I was actually supposed to fish Sunday, but Sunday was just a shit show with the rain.
Yeah,
and I was gonna go out. I was like, it's just rain. I actually wear my waders and my jacket because I've been pretty dry that way. But it just was gross. It was cold.
Yeah,
it was one of those do stuff around the house, tied a bunch of flies. Because Monday was looking pretty good. Monday was looking nasty without the rain.
Yeah.
Like, it was overcast. It was going to be foggy. It was going to be cold. I'm like, this is it. So I had my boondock stuff came Saturday. So I put the landing gear on, which took 5 minutes.
I saw that in your truck.
Like, it was so quick. And I didn't have it all put together. Everything was in pieces again. But the boondocks bar was like sides for...
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what did you do about the bar?
Well, I got the new bar.
You got the new bar. Okay.
Yeah. And then I actually had so I don't know if I said this, on one of the plates of one of the sides of the boondocks, the bolt that held the old bar was actually seized to the point where I put an Allen key in the vise and then tried to use the bar and the
as
bolt
leverage?
as leverage, and it just broke off inside there. So hardened and whatever steel inside that,
Uh-huh.
like I couldn't drill it out. It was so luckily I have a friend that has a machine shop, and instead of drilling that out, he actually just took one of those needle grinders, ground that off, drilled a new hole and tapped it next to it. Oh, it's perfect.
Okay.
He also made a tool for me to use on the native drives to take them apart that I couldn't get anywhere.
Oh, cool.
And it's like 20 times better than you could buy.
Is
Pretty
that
much.
Will?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, the new bar came in, didn't have to cut it. It was about 5 minutes to install the landing gear. It was so nice. Went in the tracks. So I was like, man, the Titan's ready to go. I left it in the truck and decided to fish the bridge area. So I launched from the boat ramp. And
This was Monday.
And like Sunday, I'm tying these big old popper topwater flies. I'm like, I know it was going to be a good day. You had that feeling, and it was a great day. Like, I went out right at sunrise, worked my way across, fished the flat. Third cast, I caught that first fish. I didn't send it to you guys till later.
Yeah.
I didn't pull my phone out a lot. Probably I'm also anti-numbers right now. Probably between 22 and 24 inches, but it had some sores on it.
Oh.
But it was one of the ones like, oh, this feels, it's a good fish. Blew it up in the same spot that I know there's just the way the edge works on this pier that's run down. Caught a couple of fish over there, and I saw the birds starting to work out towards the bridge, and I ended up saying I wasn't going to go towards Point Patience because that's pretty far, and the fog was rolling in. Worked my way over there, and I sent you that picture. Like, to the point where there's too many birds to fish because I didn't want to hook a seagull.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like all over the place, especially topwater. I mean, if you're throwing something in there around the edges and you're not actually
and the birds will pick anything plug-wise, and I was just chucking flies the whole day, but I didn't want to deal with that. So I actually sat back for a little bit, and I was picking off smaller fish on the sides, and then I did throw a couple like Clouser style flies to get me deeper, and that's where I was picking up off the edges. They were right at the point of Point Patience the whole time, right when the tide started moving and creating like a rip. Mm-hmm. And you could sit there all day and catch 12 to 15-inch fish. Yeah, but it kind of wouldn't get boring. But you do that for like an hour, and that was fun. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I know I'm gonna catch some bigger fish. So I worked my way over just to the St. Mary side and fish riprap and docks all the way over, and just fish after fish, like just north of like Botel, California, where they have their pier and the rocks, where it's a big flat. Just fish after fish all the way down to the bridge. The bridge kind of quieted, and then I worked my way around to like Botel, California, and there's a big flat over there, and pulled off some nice fish, and then worked my way back to the bridge.
When you say the flat, how much water's on that flat?
It gets really shallow. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in and out. We did a lot when I was younger. My dad's friend's boat was over there. There's a small little channel to get out of Botel, California, that's under the bridge. It gets really shallow on low tide, and you really have to pick that one if you're not in the channel. There's actually someone has this really cool house they turned into like this little Margaritaville thing over there on the point.
Oh, cool.
It's like, this would be a nice place to hang out.
Cool.
Same thing, fishing the rocks and the flats, and the fishing was great, and I lost count of probably between 50 and 20 fish. Did you hit record? So we're all on YouTube?
We're all on YouTube right now.
That's fine.
It'll work.
I don't know how you do it.
We'll make it work, I think.
We said we were going to do that on the bike.
I know. We said we were going to do that at some point.
But yeah, I lost count of fish that were between 20 and 25 inches, which, like, I am so cut up. I got cuts here. You got the raw. You see, like, your thumbs are all.
Yep.
I got all the grease in there
I've
now.
had that.
I got cuts everywhere, and like, I don't wear gloves or anything. What the fish? You fight the fish. It's the fish's time to fight back. So
yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I could have used neoprene gloves. It was a little cold, but I have a couple cuts that really hurt, and I'm hoping that they don't get infected because I hear these horror stories. But that pretty much summed it up. I mean, it was my first day out in the Titan. I did catch a couple more between the boat ramp and the rec center mouth because there's some nice riprap they built there. And you pull a couple fish off topwater, but as far as not fishing the birds, I did everything on topwater.
Yeah.
From 7:15 in the morning till 1 o'clock.
Cool.
Because it was so dreary, it was overcast, and that's like
Dude,
prime.
that's a long day in the water right
I
there.
was so tired.
How-
All I brought was a big thermos of coffee, a big thermos of water, drank it all. Only peed once. And I brought a big bag of. Lately, I've been buying a bag of a bag of Hershey Kisses and a jar of peanuts, and
Okay.
I mix it into one. That's all I ate. I drank like half of that bag, and it was I got to a point where I was actually tired, like fishing tired.
Yeah.
Like I dislocated my shoulder a couple Saturdays ago, and then I got a flu shot, and the flu shot made my arm go dead last Monday.
Are you tracking your miles on that your
No, I
paddling
should have.
fish?
I went
Oh.
so many miles again yesterday, but that Titan, there's a huge difference between a Slayer Max and a Titan.
Okay, in what way? Talk to me.
It is a freaking tank.
Yeah.
All the way from unloading out of the truck, where I appreciated the Slayer Max. It is a way more maneuverable boat out of the water.
Okay.
And it has its purpose, and it's probably what I need still. But man, that Titan, from regular chop to feeling the first bits of big boat wake,
Right.
it just was a night and day.
Yeah.
On stability. The secondary stability on that, everything around it was no worries.
Yeah.
It's a barge. But in the water, I don't think I was any slower than the Slayer Max.
I was wondering where you were
I
going
was
with that.
worried about it being slow, and everyone's talking, the Titan's max speed is 4.5 miles an hour. And no, as far as if you're pushing it, yeah, sure, the Slayer's probably faster.
Right.
If you're doing a sprint.
Right.
Which no one's doing that.
Why would you?
Yeah, everyone does their little races and they're measuring speed. But as far as typical cruising and sitting back and relaxing, I couldn't tell you the difference.
No.
I didn't have my Garmin up with speed on it, but I didn't feel any more fatigued.
Was this an anti-guard? Or you haven't put your
No,
electronics on there yet?
I lost the features on the Slayer that I really like to mount. I still have a transducer slot and a piece of Native does a hunk of plastic that so you're not drilling the boat, and there's a piece to run the transducer cable up, but not as sleek as the Slayer has it. So I'm really thinking hard about how I'm going to mount this before I put holes in the boat.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
That's
didn't have it on, but I knew I wasn't fishing that aspect of it. And maybe a couple weeks, I'll probably have to put it on to fish the river.
Yeah.
When the topwater bite, if it dies down soon. But no Garmin on it. I ran pretty bare. I did put a GoPro, but man, that Titan was so
that's
good.
Nice.
It's
Sometimes
an
nice.
awesome boat. Actually had Phil out on. He came down from Bowie to demo it on Wednesday, and I think on Thursday we ordered his.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
he was back and forth on multiple boats between Hobies and the Natives and whatnot. And we talked over the phone a couple weeks ago before we went to North Carolina, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to try some out." And then Chris bought the Slayer Max, so we never got to try that. And we did try the Slayer. I shouldn't have put him in the Titan 12 before I put him in a Slayer 10.
Okay.
We should have went Slayer 10 and then Titan 12 because he went out in the Titan and just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then it did come to so Phil has this big expedition that he's like, I do have to car top this thing.
Car topping a Titan?
Yeah. So
Hello.
at that point in time when he was sold on the stability, and the Titan 10.5, we just talked about it the night before, little that much narrower. You don't lose between the ratio. You don't lose any stability though with the Titan 10.5. We did try to put it on his roof, and he actually was a genius about it. We took off the seat box, and he planted the seat box next to the car as a place to lift the nose on and hold the nose while he lifts the backs and pivots it.
Okay.
So it's not sliding around. It was genius.
Yeah.
And we got it on the roof.
Oh, it's cool.
So
That's
typically,
nice.
and he does have a retaining wall next to where he's going to load it up. So it might be a little easier. And we were thinking about it overnight between the Titan 10.5 and the 12. And with the bigger water and stuff, because he can get to the Bay Bridge and all easy, we ended up picking the 12.
Okay.
So he's got the 12 on the way.
Nice.
We'll probably get it in December. Not the quickest. Native was able to squeeze it in
Yeah, but we're losing
Yeah.
fishing window. It's closing really fast.
He's patient, and luckily my Native rep. Oh yeah, they're so excited. Yeah.
I'm not caught up with
Phil, he's De Pesca on YouTube.
Oh, there it just popped in.
Yeah.
My live stream is so far behind. I think my
Oh.
computer's got way too much stuff going on it.
Hey, I know I've been rambling for a while, but it was
That's
fun.
okay.
He came down, we chatted. It was good meeting him. We'll go out fishing soon. He did get on the Slayer 10 after that, which is like a little like tadpole compared to it. And he caught a nice little striper at the end of the pier. Dave was so mad when I went back. I'm like, he's like, you went out and dried a boat and you let him catch a fish? I'm like,
What are you gonna
I told him to
do?
bring his stuff. He went out for a little bit. It was fun, and like I said, I don't think the Titan's for everyone, but it's just so nice.
Yeah.
It's so practical. The Slayer Max is probably still the boat I need. Maybe not. Maybe the Titan. I'm a big dude. I'm 6 foot, a few 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It was like the standing up on that, where the standing up was pretty stable on the Titan, on the Slayer,
Okay.
and I felt comfortable, but I felt like I was standing on a dock on the Titan.
I tell
Like
you what,
I could,
Yeah.
I just to try it. I didn't actually didn't stand up or anything until I was almost towards a ramp, and I knew gear wise, I didn't do it out in the middle of the river, but I could stand up and then actually lift 1 foot up at this. It's really hard, and I learned from paddleboarding. It's hard on smaller boats. Once you lift up 1 foot, your weight shifts really quick. The boat gets unstable, and if you don't believe me, try it on a boat when you get out next, especially on narrow boats, and it just shoots everything off balance really quick. But I could stand on 1 foot on one side. I could actually walk. I could actually move and put both feet standing, like facing this way.
Mm-hmm.
I walked to the back of the boat, and I got on the dry hatch up front, and I wasn't uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
See, that's some stability right
yeah.
there. I can stand in my top
Mhm.
water. I
Yeah.
don't have any problem with that. And I can actually, I get that. I understand what you're talking about. If you were to try to put all your weight on one side of that boat, it would just shoot.
You won't realize it until you try it now.
No, I wouldn't try it because I know exactly. Because
Try to do that like flamingo thing.
I've rocked it back and forth enough. And with my boat, with the way the drive is, I don't have anywhere that I could put in a foot in the middle of my boat anyway.
On Titan, you can.
Yeah, but I don't have it in my top water.
It was, and I've actually seen it on someone's YouTube. They were talking about taking the dry hatch or the cover off and putting like a hardened deck thing as like a casting platform.
Casting
I
platform.
was like, whatever you want to do. He was a little dude too. That guy that did it on YouTube. I'm not a little guy.
Now, could you stand in the seat?
I didn't do that. It's the only thing I forgot.
Okay.
But I'm pretty comfortable that I could now.
Yeah.
Like even the rod storage that they had on the Slayer, which worked really well except for the rudder side, and they run it on top of the gunnels on the Slayer Max. It does your rod, depending on your length, gets in the way of the rudder control.
Okay.
On the Slayer Max, well, on the Titan, it sits inboard of that, and it's out of the equation. But you have like 6 inches and something like that more, 5.
Got it.
It's a huge amount of room that you have in there. It almost felt like it was in a bathtub.
Wow.
But very comfortable, especially being on the river. Not a lot of boat traffic, but the boat traffic, it was bigger boats, which is good. I finished up. Like I said, my arm was actually tired.
Was this Monday? Monday you had.
This was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Well,
Okay.
like it's all water bin.
Yeah.
And one dude on like some 35-foot cabin cruiser trolling. That was kind of being a jangling following me. Nothing I had to worry about. Where the Slayer, sometimes if you get a little sideways, you're like, the Slayer is an excellent boat, and I would still be happy with one. I'm glad I got the option of trying the Titan now. But the Titan was, I was like, man, loading it up does suck a little bit compared to having the Slayer.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit heavier.
Yeah, but you'll figure that out. I mean, how much? Heavier?
But I was also tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then, man, I went to McDonald's. I saw Sean at the light.
Oh, yeah?
And then, because he just got back from Deep Creek, we chatted in the parking lot at McDonald's. Went in for spicy chicken nuggets, and they were out, so that kind of killed my whole day. They got some good chicken nuggets.
I'm a fan of the McDonald's chicken nugget. We talked about them before.
The spicy ones. Have you had those?
No, I haven't had them.
Oh,
I haven't had those.
man.
Nah. We're gonna talk about spicy stuff here in a little bit when we get to the this or that.
I think that's about it. I know I ran it on for a while. Fishing was excellent in the river. I love the nasty conditions. It's my first time in a propel boat in a pair of muck boots, which was way better than I thought.
Yeah,
I'm always barefoot, and like I hate wearing shoes in it, but they did well. And I was actually, unlike my Slayer, I had one of the Slayers with little glitches, and I always got water. I had 0 water in the Titan.
Yeah.
Didn't have any issues. It was comfortable. And then let's say I did order my dad a 10.5 Titan.
Did you?
And then you asked me about Titan stuff, and I'm waiting on the new dealer pricing for
Okay.
2021,
Okay.
which I should have tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's been a small glitch.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet, but their plans in the works.
Oh, I'm just trying to get pricing for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think MSRP's changed, but I think dealer pricing changed a little bit, and there's some new boats coming out, so there's just some
Little wiggle.
I don't want to promise someone something and then,
Gotcha.
especially if I'm giving you a deal, I got to work on my price.
So I fished a lot over the last week. I think I missed a couple of days, which is really unusual. I've been fishing pretty much every day.
Were I know you got out yesterday, right?
I did get out.
You
yesterday.
were voting when I was on the fish yesterday.
Yeah, I was voting in the morning, and I had all sorts of stuff, errands to run in the morning. I still have rockfish in the creek, but I think that the cold front that came through drove my fish down. There was so much boat traffic on Saturday. I was in the boat. I paddled 12 miles.
Is that the day you and Chris?
Yeah.
I saw that after.
We were out for 6 hours.
You guys went all the way.
All the way down to the river, all the way to the end of the creek, fished all the coves and all the little ins and outs. I had probably about 10 fish, but there was so much, because Saturday was it was a warm day. It was beautiful out. The sun was out. It was gorgeous. There was jet ski traffic. There were there were water skiers. There were fishing boats. There were go fast boats. There were, little skiffs running up around all over the place. And so there were so many boats in the creek that I think that kind of spooked the fish a little bit. I think it pushed them down because I was marking them. I did find a place. I found a couple of new spots in the creek to fish.
Were they really far out, or are they manageable?
They are down closer to the river. But, I'm coming to the conclusion it's really not that far. If I make a beeline down the creek, it's really not that bad.
So 3 miles?
From where I am to
4?
the mouth of the St. Leonard, probably about a 5.5 mile push.
That's not a short beeline.
It's a long ways. But
you need a torpedo.
So the thing is, you're fishing the points the whole way out.
Yeah.
So you're fishing the whole way down, and it's almost like you're just fishing down the creek until you find a spot where the fish are, and then you kind of hang. And then you maybe turn around and go back, but we had to go all the way down to find fish. But I found a couple of little cuts and channels and little flats that I took a couple of nice fish off. I had some 18.5-inch fish. I had no keepers on Saturday. Then Sunday was the deluge day and the rain, and we had all this stuff going on at the house. I did not fish Sunday. Then you fished yesterday morning, and I fished yesterday afternoon. And I picked up some small dinks. And I had to go a long ways down the creek again. I probably had 6 miles on the paddle yesterday just to find some fish. And there was really no size to them. They were all like 15 to 17-inch fish. There was those little cookie cutter carbon fish that but I really think that there were still fish there, but that cold front has pushed them down the creek.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on. Last week, though, I did pick up a 17-inch puppy drum down the creek. Yeah.
That was nice.
Right around Breeden's Point, there's a little lump when you go into a cove, and I picked him up trolling on a little yellow 4-inch paddle tail. Because it was weird. When that fish took that bait, I couldn't figure out exactly what it was because it didn't have that same pull. The pullage was different than the rockfish when the rockfish gets on. And about halfway in, I was like, this could actually be a little puppy drum, and sure enough, it was. It was a beautiful fish. Beautiful fish, but a much, much different fight than the rockfish. Yeah.
Can I tell you one thing I learned about the redfish?
Yeah.
You know the pictures, the ones I posted?
Uh-huh.
Most of those were under 2 years old.
Those are the ones that you caught down in North Carolina?
I was told some of those fish were about 1.5 years old.
Can you imagine if
like 25, 27 inches.
Can you imagine if we get that fishery here next year?
Man, those fish, like that 17, could be
we're all going to want
mid-20s next year.
Everybody's going to quit their job. And just go fishing. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be all about.
How much going to get on unemployment? Can you get unemployment when you admit to that?
I can't. There's not much in the live stream there. No, it doesn't look like it. It's kind of a quiet night.
Phil said he was excited and the boat was awesome.
There must be something going on in the news world or something that we're not.
I know, like my dad is over at my nephew's house.
So I tickled this little point. I wanted to talk about Chesapeake Bay named fishing spots. So you hear about this a lot. People talk on social media, and you hear about it in the fishing world. People talking about different locations, and they do by name throughout the Maryland portion of the bay.
I've only heard it the last 2.
Really? Okay. Well, sometimes it might be hard to decipher. You hear names like 9 Foot Knoll, Tea Kettle Shoals. summer gooses, winter gooses, middle grounds, Cornfield Harbor. And whether you're a new angler or whether you're a seasoned angler in Maryland that's been around for quite some time, you might just be afraid to ask what those names, where they may be, to what other folks just seem like really obvious things that you should or should not know. It's like that you see in the meme, at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's me on a lot of stuff.
I don't know what summer gooses means, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the Andy Dwyer, Parks and
Probably
Rec,
go
right?
on Title Fish now and ask.
So, did you know, Joey, that the Maryland Department of Natural Resources has an entire page on their website devoted to fishing maps?
I'm going there now.
And included are maps of the upper bay. They divide it this way: the upper bay, the middle bay, and the lower bay. And they do a really pretty good job of giving you a rough idea of where these places lie. So, like if you're looking for 9-foot knoll alongside 7-foot knoll up, north of the Bay Bridge, you're looking for tea kettle shoals, summer gooses, winter gooses, Cornfield Harbor down off there, Chinese mud outside of Solomon's, the middle grounds, Target Ship, the Targets. All these places, they do a really good job of taking those very unusual and strange names. And I'd love to find some place where you could actually determine where those names came from. It seems so weird to me. Some of them seem so...
I'm going to go Hooper's Light is probably Hooper is light.
It's probably near Hooper's Island.
Shark fin. I do want to fish what they call the Chinese mud from like Seahorse or something soon before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
But I want to go out with a couple people.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't
don't let me
do
forget about that. There's a lot of fishing I need to do in the next month.
Yeah, you better get on it. You better get on it. So I'm going to put a link to that page in the show notes because I thought, we're getting ready to go into that weird winter time. Can you find it?
Where do you, I'm looking above Smith Island, Solomon's Lump. How does Solomon's Lump get all
I
would love to talk to some old crinkly dude that just but the dude that has all the stories in it. Just figure all this out.
Yeah. So we're coming into the winter time, and you spend a lot of time in the winter tinkering with tackle, tinkering with plans, dreaming of ideas. And I thought this would be an interesting thing, if you're ever curious about where these names were, and so maybe a part of the bay that you don't fish, it would be a good idea to know some of that. So I thought I would share that. I'm going to put the link in the show notes or the show description, assuming the podcast. Charles is here. Charles, Upper Bay of the Wind, Chinese mud. And Chinese mud, Phil, is... If you were to go just out of Solomon's and hang a left and go north, it's that little section that's sort of like right off of Calvert Cliffs below the power plant, below the nuclear power plant.
It's just south of Cove Point Light and the Hollow.
There you go.
All the way down to almost Drum Point.
Yeah. Now, why they call it Chinese mud? Who knows? I would love to know the backstory on some of these names. I mean, some of them are pretty obvious, like Targets.
Have you seen the Targets out there?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's kind of like, they're Targets, so they call it Targets. How does Cornfield Harbor get its name?
I was just thinking about that is the one place in that area in the mouth of the Potomac. I am scared shitless to take a kayak. I will never go out there.
Well, you always hear about people that get...
all the horror stories are from the mouth of the Potomac going into the bay.
Yep.
And even looking at it just kind of gives me the heebies because all the stuff I hear.
Yep.
I will never in a million years
go
south of the end of St. George Island.
That is where you hear about so many things every year.
It's
inevitably,
just eerie.
Something like that happens. Something goes south.
Man, the fishing could be great. Never go there.
Well, I thought that would be interesting. I
never even knew about this.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm sharing it. See?
Yeah.
Because there are places on there that I'm sure you've heard people talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, I don't know where that is, and I'm not gonna ask where is that. Where are the middle grounds? Where are the southwest middle grounds? Where are the
you might get whacked for that too.
I don't know. Am I gonna get whacked for it? I don't know. We got some activity over in the live stream. That's good. Charles says he loves fishing around power plants and warm water discharges. Keep the fish in active mode all year long. Yeah.
Have you fished?
We have the outflows here.
The outflow. And down here, Charles, before, like end of March, early April.
That's a
It's like
really
the hot
good.
spot.
And then down in the Potomac, you've got the 301 bridge.
Yeah, I've never.
The
I
I've
want
never
to try that.
fished there. I've never fished there.
Brady Bowens used to do really well there back in the day.
I have never fished the outflow at the nuclear power plant.
You've never done that?
Nope.
That is the worst boat ride ever.
Nope. I don't know how you'd get there. In a
I'll never
kayak
take
anyway.
a kayak there.
No.
You had a launch from was that Breezy? Was it Breezy Point's a run, or what's that, Flag Harbor right there? If you know it's someone at Flag Harbor, you're Colden. But usually that place is really hot in March and April, and it's still cold out.
Yeah.
So you run from Solomon's all the way up there in the dark. And I don't think the fishing's the same as it used to be, but you could go out there on last weekend of March, first weekend of April, and catch 40-inch after 40-inch fish.
Yeah. That's where they're there. They hang out
They
there.
come there and they sit on their when they're going north of the flats. That is a scary place for a kayak, though.
Sean got to look out for those three-eyed fish at the power plant.
We've seen some weird fish up there, though.
Have you ever legit seen some weird fish come out of that?
Yeah.
Really? Like
Yeah.
what?
Just the
Put you on the spot.
way some of the sores come out on some of the fish.
Ooh.
Some of the rockfish have some weird designs on them. Could just be one of the things you're like, you correlate it because of the power plant.
I know. I looked
Some
at
of the shad that hang there shouldn't be there.
I looked at the puppy drum that I caught in the creek, and I looked at the picture of it because that's the cover picture for this week's live stream for the YouTube thumbnail. That fish, when its dorsal fin was up, all of the on the back of it, all of the skin in the dorsal fins had gone away. It was just the spines coming up.
Ooh.
And I thought that was really weird. I didn't notice at the time when I caught the fish.
Smib fishes.
I don't know. I don't know. It was just really weird. So hopefully that will help somebody. I find it interesting. I'm kind of a map geek. I really get a kick out of that. And maybe some other folks will too. And
They got historical oyster bars. Those don't exist anymore.
hey, Joey.
We have an oyster problem.
Joey.
Yeah.
Joey. Want to do this or that?
Glow in the dark is easy to catch at night.
Throw a stick at it.
Glow in the dark, easy. Oh, like the nuclear fish?
Yeah.
Actually, it's a really cool place to fish at night because it's so lit up.
Oh, yeah, because it's also all the lights.
Yeah, but I used to run up there in the skiff at night, fish. You could catch 15, 20-inch fish all the time up there in the summer. And then it's a scary run all the way down to Solomon's.
Yeah.
I think I either smacked my dad in like around the Chinese mud, all the shad hang out in the summer, and you run a boat through there and they all come out of the water. The amount of fish that come up and hit us.
Like those the silver carp.
That's
like
a real,
outlet
yeah,
where
it's
they
the
hit
shad
motor.
do that. I think my dad got whacked once.
Oh, the days of GoPro.
Yeah. I never had.
Hey, I want to do this or that. You want to
Yeah.
do this or that?
Let's go.
Okay, you ready? I got good this
I didn't
or
look
that.
at 'em.
I think I've got good. Last week I thought I had good this or that, and I'm not really sure they turned out as good as I thought they did. So
Yeah.
anybody in the live stream, we're going to keep eyes on this because if you want to chime in on an answer to a this or that, please, by all means, shout it out. But the rules are you got to explain yourself. Okay?
I haven't read them.
All right? Joey,
Yeah.
would you rather eat a spoonful of wasabi or a menhaden that a rockfish has spit up on your boat when you caught them? You know how they'll do that, where they will
Oh
literally
yeah.
puke.
I'm trying to process that one in my head. Wow, where did you come up with that one?
I think it's tough.
I'm gonna go with wasabi.
Well, I've had a lot of fish over the last week, like spitting up. I will go down in like the next day after I've gone fishing the day before, and there will be like a half chewed up menhaden sitting underneath the saddle, it's under the seat of my boat. I'm like, oh, I got to pull it out.
You really have a nasty kayak.
No, I washed it the other day. I washed it. I did.
Did you actually like scrub it?
No, but I
No.
hosed it down real good. I got all those fish guts
Jeez.
out there. So that's where that came from. What was your answer?
I'm gonna go with wasabi.
How could you do that?
I like spice.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a problem with that.
My goal is to eventually, when someone asks how spicy, I'm just gonna say all the way.
Oh, spicy. Bring it to
all
me.
the way. I all the way. There's Thai people when you get, but when I go to a Thai restaurant, 5, 6 it gets hot.
Well, I told you I went down to Yummy's the other day and they had that spicy.
Oh yeah, poke.
Poke, and it was like, this poke's not supposed to be like this. I would do the wasabi, but I wouldn't be happy about it, and it would be extremely painful because I really don't think I could eat like a half.
You want to eat a chewed up mint like fish guts?
I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. I'd do the wasabi.
Not Bear Grylls over here.
I wouldn't want to eat a menhaden if it hadn't been chewed up and processed and spit out by a rockfish. I would not want to do that.
That's disgusting.
Okay. Anybody in the live stream answering that? Nope. Nobody's answering that over in the live
Could
stream.
be laggy.
Yeah, I think it probably is. I don't know. It's stuff going on. Joey, clowns or spiders?
Did you ask my dad about this one?
No.
God, those are my. Besides birds.
Really?
Birds, spiders, snakes. Clowns are just one of the clowns are just freaky. And I don't think I think it's the fact that people that dress up as clowns are just a little
they're a little
out
weird.
there too.
Yeah.
There's a guy over at the tattoo parlor in Solomon's that has a clown dummy in his passenger seat.
I've seen
Full
that.
size.
I've seen that.
Full size. I was riding a bike by there the other day about poo my pants. I hate clowns, but I'll take a clown over a spider.
Yeah, you don't like spiders, do you?
No, and it doesn't sound like someone who's an Eagle Scout and camped a lot. And
neither one of them really bother me too much, but I think there is something nefarious about the clown.
I don't mind little bastards.
The little spiders?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
You get one of those cricket spiders.
You don't like those?
Oh no!
And the big wolf spiders that carry all their babies on their back. We used to have those out by the pool.
I got bit by a wolf spider when I was little and got taken to the hospital.
Yeah, I would definitely, clown. I could, hit him with a stick
Why don't
or
you just
something.
bite the nose?
Wasabi. Sean says wasabi. 100% of the thought of eating puked fish makes me want to puke.
Yeah, would not go home with Sean on that one.
I thought that was a really good one, though.
Oh, that was a good one.
I thought that was good.
That one's gonna make people cringe when they listen to it.
Well, since I didn't record the audio, let's hope we can actually get it to the point where people can listen to it.
Just go to our YouTube.
I think I can pull the audio off of the
of
YouTube channel and push it back out, but it might take a couple of days, so it's going to be a little bit late. It's kind of bumming me out over here. Yeah, everybody, I forgot to push record on the audio.
We joked about this for a couple of years on the bike podcast, and
we
it
really have.
happened on the fishing one now.
Well, there's too much stuff going on.
You have a lot going on.
There's not too much stuff. I don't want to say that it's too much stuff, but there is a lot of stuff going on with live streaming and audio recordings and all of these other things going on. Anybody jumping in on that one? Nope. Okay. Joey, would you rather invent the next killer lure? Okay, you know how every couple of years a new lure pops up, whopper plupper all of a sudden on the scene, Would you rather invent the next killer lure or be able to solve math problems in your head?
What, Rain Man?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go with the lure. My wife's a math teacher, and all the time I tell her is like, all the stuff my teachers told me in school, it's all fault. Like I have,
I don't use
the
math.
thing I have on my phone, like calculator wise. Now I Google ask Alexa what blah 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 is. Taxman does my taxes for me.
So you don't even need to worry about math.
I do a little bit, but not to the point where I'd want to know.
Be able to do complex.
I might
math
be somewhere
equations.
else in my life if I could do math in my head.
That's true.
I don't want to be in
Same place.
that position because
Well,
I don't want to be that guy.
think about it this way: if you invented the next killer bait,
Oh yeah,
you'd be able to hire somebody to do math for you,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Right? I mean, if you invented, so that's what we need to do. Forget math. We need to get on.
I'm trying out some new flies I haven't seen before.
Well, there you
Tied
go.
them up.
There you go.
I did tie them when I was drinking this stuff.
So maybe you have
They did well.
created the next killer lure, and you just don't even know it. You don't even
just
know
in a
it.
really small niche category of the saltwater fly fishermen, which is they're everywhere out there now.
Would you rather? Now I got a
Hold
story.
on.
Would somebody jump in?
Phil said, "If I can solve math problems, I can make the best lure."
See, there's the other side of the equation. If you can do complex math, then there's a lot of things in your life that would fall into place. Think about it.
Really, though, I know some people that are so smart and have no common sense.
Yeah, but they hire other people to do those things. I don't know.
My wife's a math.
I absolutely positively know that being able to do complex math equations in my head is not in my future in any way, shape, or form. So I am just going to go that.
Ooh, now you're the sticker guy on this podcast.
Oh, I got stickers to give out? Well,
Oh, man, he was just down here.
He was just down here, and Joey. Don't blame Joey.
On Tuesday night? I
Blame
didn't know.
Joey.
I don't have any. I've
don't
stuck them
have
on
any?
stuff.
Oh, have you?
Maryland Fishing Line?
Yeah. I need to get
Most
some
of those
new
are back at
stickers.
Native and Fletcher because they were on my kayak. There's like 3 of them on there,
They're going to be like, hey, what is this all
and
about?
there's one in my truck.
All right, I'll get some stickers out. Everybody DM me in some way, shape, or form on Instagram or something. addresses. I've gotten a couple. I
see
think.
who took advantage of that in the bike podcast.
And yeah, I know.
Well, only Dustin emailed me. I put a thing on the live stream at the end of the bike one. I said, if you want stickers and you're on the live stream, email me, and no one emailed me.
But Dustin did?
Dustin did, but I emailed him first.
Okay. Would you rather be able to talk to, and by talking to, I mean converse with fish or converse with people?
I hate people. I talk to the fish all the time.
I put this in there just for you.
I'm pretty sure I have more in-depth conversations with my dog than I have with people. He 100% listens to me. The fish, I don't know. That dog is, he goes through a lot when I talk to him, but no, I hate people.
The way that the world is today, I think I'd much rather be able to talk back and forth to fish, but that would be hard, though. Because then you'd be like,
why'd you put that sharp-ass hook in my mouth?
They would be so upset with me. It's like, we did this a few days ago, buddy.
Yeah. You want a tango? I'm going to slice your hand open.
Come on here, grab hold of this dorsal fin. Come on, let me stick you. I'm
going to bite that finger off.
I still think I'd rather talk to fish. Because then you could like make a friend. You could make a fish friend.
Man, lure your friends over here. I'll give you
like,
$1.
Be like, yeah. You want some pellets? You want some fish pellets?
You want some garlic corn?
Come on, get some fish pellets and garlic corn flavored fish pellets coming your way, buddy. Bring Mama over here. You don't like your little brother? Come on, bring him over here.
I'll take care of him.
I'll take care of that.
You don't want him at Thanksgiving dinner? I'll take care of him.
I'll let him go. I promise. It's okay.
You know, I was thinking about that. When I was talking to the dog, I talk to Max all the time when we go out and walk around for poop walks.
Yeah. And
there's always people outside, and I don't realize how much I talk to. Like, they probably hear me. Like, I will just full on talk to Max twice.
Well, why not?
The amount of people that are probably like, what is this guy doing?
If anybody came into, because we're having all the work done at our house now,
yeah.
And I was thinking about it today because the painter was downstairs, and I was like I sing to the cats and I sing to the dog.
I sing to him so much. It's like we're walking around and I'll ask him stuff. Obviously, he's not gonna respond, but people probably think I'm just that crackhead fisherman dude. He's always got his kayak in the back of his truck.
The little special ginger in the corner.
Yeah, like I've been out there in the last couple of days with like pajama bottoms and muck boots on and like a big old Gore-Tex. Like I look like a goon.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
So I thought those were good this or that's for the.
I love them all.
We're coming into our own. With
your this or that's in the last two podcasts were great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I also have stickers for you from Sean.
I thank you. Oh, nice.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I've put a lot of thought.
You've been doing all hardcore show notes.
I've been doing this or that. I've been thinking about them. I've been contemplating them. I've been taking real life experiences that I'm having in my boat, like with fish. Like throwing up half chewed up bait, going, would I rather eat that?
We're having wasabi next week on this podcast.
All right, you got anything else before we shut this thing down?
No, I think I am good. Rabbit is good.
Rabbit is wise. I hope everybody enjoyed the new format for the video. Give us a little feedback on that. Hopefully, I'm able to pull the audio off of the live stream and push that out as an audio podcast. I can guarantee you, Joey, I probably will not forget to push record again for quite some time.
I'll put a little sign up.
This, you know what? We probably need to. I feel like a real dummy. I looked over there. It was about 20 minutes into this, and I looked over and I saw all those white numbers on the recording device. I was like, duh.
Do you think the face-to-face thing might look a little better, less cluttered?
I think so.
I got like coffee stuff over here. We might be frozen. Oh, no, we're not.
No, you mean having the camera over there versus having the camera on our talking heads? Okay. Yeah. Well, let us know. Let us know what you prefer, if it's a good thing, or if it's something different. You like go back to the other way to do it.
I will find a guest for next week. It'll be Tony.
Excellent. Tony
Friedrich of the American Saltwater Guides Association, or a newer friend of mine that is a tugboat captain or engineer over just across the creek. Nice. He lives in Virginia Beach, and he's on the Jackson Kayak Pro staff.
Excellent. Get on it.
We'll have one. It might not be Tony next week just because of his stint up here. I don't know. He can do it from his computer.
Yeah, I was wondering if you talking about having somebody in house. You talking?
I'd probably have. Oh, both probably on the over the video. We'll see. He might be working because he works weird shifts.
Yeah.
I was thinking Zoom anyway, but I got to figure out his work schedule. Yeah. They work weird tugboat hours going to the bay. Tony, well, I'll just talk to Tony. He's flexible-ish.
Got it. Anything going on in Yak Anglers, SOMD Yak
No,
Anglers?
I always haven't pushed that. I'm gonna actually need to put a report up from yesterday. Chris has some stuff on there. Need to get that ball rolling before it gets cold.
Good deal. Folks, if you're looking for the magazine, you can find it on facebook.com/Angler Magazine Chesapeake. And you know what? Yeah, we didn't even talk about that, Joey. The November issue of the magazine is fresh out today. Joey's holding it up there in front of the live stream. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's fresh out today, and I will have it on all of its distribution locations here shortly. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at one time. On Instagram, you can find the magazine at Chesapeake Angler. You can find me at BN Range. Joey, how can they get in touch with you?
I'm at Joey Sikorsky 24 on the Insta or at Pack Paddles.
YouTube.com/Chesapeake Angler. And, of course, you can read the e-magazine online at ChesapeakeAnglerMag.com or pick up that fresh off the street. I don't even know. Joey, what kind of fish is that on the front? I don't even know what it is. We were just trying to figure it out. It looks like a salmon.
To me, it looks like a salmon.
I think it's a salmon. I'm
but
always stuck with, like...
To be fair,
to be fair,
with National, they put Alaska's best salmon runs on there right under at 30-inch cutthroats, which that could be a 30-inch fish. I doubt that is a cutthroat. To me, it looks like a salmon. But also, National doesn't have a... Like, is there a way to... They should have, like...
what?
Doesn't some magazines have, like, cover photo or story like on page 4 or something?
Yeah, like the story of the photo. They don't do that, I don't think. Yeah.
I just can't find it.
They don't.
I mean, I could go to this guy's They have
Oh, really?
Instagram handles for these people, but I'm a little... I forget to do everything, so... Like, I'm pretty glad I got Yak Anglers started.
Hey, look at the brag board. See the brag board?
That's a nice brag board. Carry
Nice
made
brag
on
board,
there.
yeah,
There's
carry
some
made
nice
on there.
fish.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
You did put a Hobie guy on there.
You have to. Yeah, you got to be.
This is not a kayak magazine. I love when people yell at me about the Hobie thing.
Joey, let's shut this down.
Oh, man, Owen made it on there.
Yeah.
That's Sean's son.
Yep.
Oh, I love watching his stuff on... I think he's got YouTube. He's got... I always see it on Sean's Facebook and stuff. I think they have a YouTube page now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
We should share some of that.
Good deal.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We are going to... wait a minute. Let's see. Sean gives
Sean said you're cloudy and I'm clear.
I know. We had
We're
this on the
buy
last one.
Brian and... Well, actually, this
no,
is Brian's.
you're using my camera. You're
Yeah.
using my good camera, and I'm using my dumb camera. So we'll figure it out. If I get another one of those, that was a pretty cheap Amazon buy.
Was it?
Yeah, and it seems like it's doing pretty good. So I think we'll go with that. I'll get another one of those. I'll pick up another one of those. That's it, guys. We're going to be out of here. We will talk to you again next week. Until then, everybody, get out there and catch a fish.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.